Hi everyone, my name is Haley and welcome back to my AuthorTube channel. Today is really exciting because we are almost to the end of May. It is May 20th when I'm recording, and so we're gonna get planning for June. Yeah. As you can probably tell by the glint in my eye, I have a new ring light thing that I didn't position very well. There we go. This is probably going to be really distracting. To start, I chose to make my theme a mermaid jellyfish kind of thing. I don't know how much voiceover I'm going to do, so I'm just going to do a little explaining now. June just felt very fantastical to me, so I wanted to do that mermaid ocean vibe. Since I still have a lot of time left in May. We're 11 days out today, 10 tomorrow. I don't know yet if I'm going to be completely done with the first draft of my book by the time June comes around. So basically, I made it a little vague to start with so I have my title page, I have my monthly spread where I have the whole calendar put up with some notes where I can put events and things like that. I have my graduation ceremony on the 14th, Father's Day on the 21st, so that's all in there already, and whatever else comes up I will just put in there as it comes around. Then on the next page, since I am a writer, I have my monthly word count goals, where I decided to draw a lot of different shells going with that ocean theme. So every time I write in a day, I will write down how many words I made in that day. Within each of the shells, or if the shell is too small, I'll write it next to the shell. Next to it then, I wrote out all of the days of the month for my daily takeaways, specifically to how I found my writing session that day, so mood, takeaway, food for thought, that kind of thing. And then at the end I have a little reflection area where I can write about my writing goals, whatever, how I felt June went for me, and if there's anything that I want to strive for July, I would put that there. After that, I have a Camp NaNoWriMo prep page, since Camp NaNoWriMo arrives in July. My goals right now for Camp NaNoWriMo, I'm not really sure yet where it's heading. I do have to finish my poetry manuscript by June 8th, so that's a deadline I have, so that's number one. But I also thought I kind of wanted to do it so every day I'm writing towards a short story or a piece of flash fiction or a new poem, because I've been spending so much time on this really long work that I really want to dedicate some more time to shorter pieces that'll be easier to try to send out to lit magazines, online resources, contests, that sort of thing, so I can start doing that in July. June will also be the start of my revision process for the novel as well, so I have a lot of different projects that I have going on. I also have a teaching internship in July that's teaching devised theater to children. That's through Land O'Lake Arts. So, and I don't know if we're being online yet or if the camp is still going to be in person, but as their teaching intern, I do need to write a children's play for the camp as well, two probably for the different age groups. So that's a big June project as well, because camp starts in July. So I need to figure that out and reach out to my supervisor and make sure that we're still on and things are going according to plan. Yeah, so I'll probably make another spread later on after I get in contact with my supervisor, planning out and outlining those plays, and I'll probably make a video on playwriting at that point, since that's what I'll be doing. So continuing after my NaNoWriMo page, I have my weeklies. From my trend of last month, I took pieces, old writers magazines. This one is from a 2010 edition. I actually ended up reading the whole magazine as I was cutting these out because it was just so interesting with the rise of online publication in 09, 010, and everything that they had to say, and the author interviews were really interesting. So this edition focused on character dialogue, so you'll see that I took some of the quotes from that Enhance Your Writing section. This one says, "If it's within your character's personality, don't be afraid to have him take big actions. Throw a fit, throw a plate, or throw a punch." I just thought that was really fun. And then I have like little accent things that I ripped out of the magazine as well. And then I got some jellyfish on the side that's throughout all of my weeklies to keep the theme a little more consistent. Then for the next week, I have a quote, and I think this is from Ken something. I accidentally ripped his name off. And then I had it next to it, but I think it fell somewhere or I accidentally threw it out right after, so I don't know, but hopefully I'll figure that out soon. Yeah, I'll make a little note there. And Ken says, "I think if you're a real writer, then you don't have to worry too much about originality. What you do will be different and will have your own stamp on it anyway." I like that. And I agree with it too. I think a lot of writers worry about whether their work is really original, and there's so many stories that are basically the same thing, but as long as you have your own twist to the story and you have your own personality shining through, it's your characters, it's your idea, then it won't matter if somebody else has a similar story to yours, because yours is yours, and yours is probably better. Next week, I have another quote from the dialogue section. "What are your characters feeling while exchanging dialogue? Try expressing it with the sound of silence." At first that just reminded me of the song. I realized after reading that quote that I tend to use a lot of silence in my work. She didn't respond for 2 minutes. I just took that out of my ass, but you know what I mean. But yeah, as little headers. The next week I have another of those quotes. This one says, "It can take the protagonist's pages to tell us something in narrative, whereas a scene of dialogue can quickly show us through that character's own words said out loud. Narrative explains and dialogue blurts out." So this is kind of getting at that show versus tell, and how dialogue is really at the core of how we can show in our writing instead of tell things. Which is true, and I love using dialogue to give information out. Finally, the last week, I have a David Morrell quote. "I like to know where I'm going, but after that, I like to think of the book as being an adventure. I have this mantra: serve the story, listen to the story." I really like that one, specifically for the last week of June, because writing is the journey, and writing is an adventure, and this whole next month is going to be a big adventure. So why not end something that motivating? It's awesome. And then I have a bunch of other things that I ripped out to go behind it as well. And then I also put on this last week a goals for next month page. So I'm already thinking about what I really want to happen next month, and then I can just transfer that over and put it into the next week page thing. Sweet. Alright. And then after that, if you saw my 4-hour write-a-thon video that I had up last week, I started making these productivity chart things. So I'm gonna include those in like my dailies that I'm gonna do on a day-to-day basis, because I usually don't need them every single day. But if there's a day that I really need to get this chunk done, or this many words, or this many stories, blah blah blah, etc., etc., then I will use those to figure that out. And yeah, plan out my days better. I think I realized this month in May that I really need a more consistent work schedule in order to get what I want done. So that's my main goal for June, is to try to make that schedule more consistent, and that's why I decided to make these weeklies like a longer column, like almost like a to-do list, where I can time out, like, I'm gonna be writing from 11 to 1 today, or 8 to noon, or whatever it is. And then I'll be done with my class soon as well. I'll be officially a college graduate in June. I finished all my requirements back in March, but I'll get my diploma in the mail by June 14th, and that's all really exciting. And then I actually gotta plan my future. So hopefully this bullet journal for June will help me do that, at least a little bit. Thank you so much for watching this June plan with me video. If you liked what you saw, make sure to like this video, give it a thumbs up, as well as subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and hit that little notification bell so you'll get all the notifications for my upcoming videos along the road. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you all next week for yet another video. Bye!